Today is 842nd day that I share lessons I learn. I'm learning. I hope this will support your dreams. Your goals allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today, we'll speak about spiritual foundations. Spiritual foundations. This is a topic that I really still need to improve. I did not build spiritual foundations yet, but I will share the topic because I want to improve in my spiritual foundations. I want to improve in my spiritual journey. I have a lot of things that I learned, but there is so much more things to learn. And I could tell that I started my spiritual journey only a couple of years ago. And exactly the same when you start something new, you are like a baby. You have no idea. So I think that when you think about you start a spiritual foundation, any skills such foundations, we're not supposed to share our learnings with people who do not understand, because it will challenge you. And when you're a baby, you're not able to communicate properly. You don't know the foundations. You don't have strong foundations yet. So when you share your ideas, when you share the things that you're learning, they might say something that you will start questioning it. But now you go and search and research, and that's now I understand why is this. Because a lot of time, people that you know will challenge you the most. So sometimes we need to understand that we need to find people that we're able to trust. And today I'll share 11 things, or 12 things 12 things that we need to really look into when we really want to build a spiritual foundations. Number one thing is really self-reflection. Why is it important for you to really build that spiritual foundation? Why is that important for you? Because at the end of the day, if you will not understand why is that important, you will stop sooner or later. But when you know the reason why is important for you, what is the purpose of you really building that foundation? Why are you supposed to look in this part of your life? Because I know why, what is the reason. And I truly believe that when you know your purpose of doing something, when you put your dedication into that, it's much, much easier to really build that strong foundation. Because I want to build a massive hires. I really want to be known as a spiritual leader, but potentially in the future as well. And if I want to be known as spiritual leader, that means that I need to have massive foundation. I got to build that massive house on. I'm not able to build massive house on the weak foundation. Number two is define your beliefs. So that means that when we reflect, we're defining our beliefs. So what we have beliefs right now. So knowing your beliefs right now, and of course, first step is always knowing where you are, and then the second step is where you want to go. What kind of beliefs you want to have? Because sometimes you know that there is some beliefs that other people have, but you do not have them yet. You didn't grow into them yet. So now that when you reflect on what kind of beliefs and define your beliefs where they are, now you're able to say, okay, this is my belief so far, and I will slowly grow to different beliefs. I will research how I potentially could change that belief, how I could potentially move to beliefs that could potentially allow me to become better in different aspects of my life. Number three is read sacred texts. So there's a lot of difference. The most important Christian Bible, like Islam is Quran. So I truly believe that every single person who is spiritual and who has their faith and they have religion, they're supposed to read their Bible. They're supposed to read their text. Because I think a lot of times people make wrong decisions because they just don't follow their word. They don't follow their word because the more I read, the more I understand there are so many things to learn. So many things to learn. Because at the beginning, I think that I was not ready to get the information. Because I tried to read first time, and the less I read, the less I understood. The more I read, the more I understand. But the more I understand, that there's so much more to get. So reading text is very, very important. Because it's one of the things that is very, very important. When you read the Bible, if you're Christian, now when you go through life, you understand what is right and what is not. Because when you do not read the text, it's very hard to distinguish. So what is right, what is wrong? Where is supposed to go? And this is probably one of the best distinguishes, because a person who is reading the Bible and who's not will make better choices because he directs his choices based on actually a written word. Number four is meditation and mindfulness. So being present. And again, I love this meditation on the word, meditation on the things that you're reading. This is very, very powerful. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. We read some kind of verse and we meditate. Meditate how that aligns in our life. What is the really true meaning of this verse? Because that is, I guess, what the biggest lesson for me was when I read the Bible, and some verses didn't connect with me. And after that, I read second time, oh, how I missed this verse. This is such a powerful verse. And when you're able to meditate, be present, I think that is a very, very, very powerful tool when you're able to meditate on the things that you're reading, and basically on your beliefs. There are so many things that we need to meditate on to be able to get the best foundation, spiritual foundation. Number 5 is prayer. Prayer. And I think that's one of the biggest things about prayer, that there's not supposed to be like morning prayer. It could be any time of the day, because that's what I like. It sometimes could be not just prayers, could be a worship. Sometimes there's a lot of different things. So you're not able to really do just by words, you'll be able to action. Because my prayer sometimes is just totally different. For example, when I do exercises, I sometimes just say that this exercise is for you. This is just for you as a worship. And I think that this is a very powerful prayer when you're able to do some actions. And a lot of times those prayer through action is one of the best way to really build your spiritual foundation, because that's how I do it. And I think that there's a lot of times this connects me with my spiritual foundations even more. And prayers, there's a lot of things. For me, one of the best prayer is before I sleep. Because sometimes when I have so many things in my head, maybe there's a lot of troubles, circumstances going through, and putting all those troubles into the prayer is one of the best ways to fall asleep. There was so many times, just countless times, when I was not able to fall asleep, and then I started praying, and I fell asleep in a couple of minutes, because I put all those negativities onto somebody that was able to take care of it. Number 6 is community engagement. This is very, very powerful. Being able to associate yourself with people who think like you is very important. Now, of course, we understand that we need to have people who don't think like us as well, to that we can challenge our beliefs and we can learn even more, because people who challenge our beliefs are able to push you. Because a lot of times when someone has challenged you, you're able to go research and build a foundation very strong. But at the same time, we need to have people who are thinking like us, or maybe they go into the same direction, and be able to share and really learn from each other and really brush even more. Because the more you connect with people who think like you and really have this spiritual community, it's much, much easier to connect. Much easier, because building a spiritual foundation is not easy. It's not easy to build spiritual foundation, like any kind of foundation. It requires to dig inside of you. Because when you build a massive foundation, when you look into the highest foundation, they go so deep inside, you're barely able to see it. Exactly the same is in your side. That means that for a long time, the only thing that you will see is digging and digging. You will dig inside a lot to build a foundation, and that's very important. Until you finally reach that rock bottom inside, and before you're able to really start building something. And again, this community engagement is very, very important, because they allow you to be in a safe place to dig properly to build a foundation. Number 7 is service and compassion. I truly believe that every single spirituality teaching teaches that service and compassion is very, very important. Very, very important. I truly believe it. So that means engaging in kindness, activities of kindness, is very, very important as spiritual activity. Number 8 is nature connection. And this is a part of really connecting with the world, and being able to really be grateful for blessings of the nature. Because it's very, very powerful to go to nature, connect with nature, connect with yourself, and being able to meditate on the word, maybe read a Bible, because I truly believe that when you're in nature, you're able to really connect with your true self, connect with your spiritual foundation, connect with your foundations altogether. And nature is one of the best ways to really do that as an activity to enhance your spiritual foundation. Number 9 is educate yourself. Now, Bible is, of course, one of the best ways to educate yourself, but there are so many different books, so many different seminars are about theology, understanding the history of religions, understanding the history of spirituality, understanding what is for, what is against, and because we need to educate, we need to be important, we need to understand like all the practices, traditions, philosophies, to be more engaged, understanding. Because the more understanding you have, the more foundation you're able to build, the stronger foundation you're able to build. Number 10 is maintain open mind. This is again one very, very important. So when you start in reflecting and understanding your beliefs, current beliefs, you need to be open. Now say like, I see that there's other people who believe this way, but I believe this one. So why do you think in this way? What is the main reason that they start thinking this way? It's very, very powerful to be open minded and question why they're thinking this way, why I think this way. So if they think in this way and they come up with this idea, let's look into, let's research and be open minded. Because I could tell you that a lot of times I changed my mind when I really did a massive research on a topic, and I spent a lot of time, I realized that my beliefs was not right. Even though that I really believed it, those beliefs that I had was right. And I think that every single person has beliefs that is not correct or not fully correct. And I think that you need to work on that, meditate on that, and really find, and then work on, be open-minded. Because if you are not open-minded, even the belief that doesn't serve you and the belief that is not correct will stay with you, because just you are not open to change that. Number 11 is gratitude practice. I think that this is very, very important. We need to be grateful about everything we have. Gratitude practice is building that connection and really feeling that contentment on. And there's so many emotions could come out just of practicing gratefulness and gratitude. I'm a massive believer of gratitude's power, and the more you use gratitude, the lighter and beautiful the life is supposed to look like, and it is. It's much more beautiful. The last one that I want to mention, and this is in anything in life, seeking guidance. So when you want to build a foundation, spiritual foundation, guidance is important. Understanding where to dig, how to dig, what to understand, where to look for information. All the information, because it's not easy sometimes to find information that you want to follow. And I think that there's a lot of times we need to be careful who we listen to. Seek guidance. Understand where they are coming from. Understand where those people are and why you're supposed to follow. Understand where they live, how they live, what kind of values they have, what kind of spiritual foundation do they have. Because for me, when I think about spiritual foundations or spirituality altogether, I see myself that I'm a 32 years old, but in my spiritual journey, I would love to be much, much, much farther ahead. I think that I'm like a teenager in spirituality. And that's where I always looking at how to connect, how to learn. And I spent much, much, much more time in the last year or two to really learn and educate myself about spirituality. And I found that I learned a lot. I'm a really advanced teenager in spirituality, but I still need to work a lot in building a spirituality foundation. And I think that every single person is supposed to do that. You like it or you don't like it, you still need to understand it, because there are so many people who live their life with maybe just morals. Maybe they believe that they're good people. But when you really live some by spirituality and you have some certain beliefs, I think that is not right to say that you are someone that you are not. Because there's a lot of people who call themselves religious, but they're not religious. They're not living like religious people. Now, I understand that, for example, me, when you start your journey, you are open-minded, you learn new things, you improve, get better, and you saying you're becoming somebody. So that means that it's okay to work towards something, improve. But if you are stagnant and you're not improving, not getting better, it's very hard to call yourself someone that you're not improving. Because the number one thing that I think that about spirituality is improvement, getting better, asking questions, getting guidance, improvement. And when you do that, I think that it's possible to build a foundation. Really be proud of yourself. Because spirituality and building a foundation, I think that is just very, very important. Not just for yourself, but for the people around you. Because the more spiritual you are, the more kind you are, the more you find that you want to add more value, because you understand that the things that when you are spiritual, when you have beliefs like Christian, like there's so many things that you understand that if you're a true Christian, you understand that everything in life is given. It's not yours. It's His. Money is not yours, so that means that you're becoming not a lake or a river. There's so many different decisions will be made differently when you have very strong spiritual foundations. And that's what I work on. This is what my goal will be for next 5-10 years. Maybe like this is again, I need to improve to learn on spiritual foundations, because I know that spiritual foundations is one of the things that I will be building for the rest of my life. And this is again, there's a lot of skills need to be developed for the rest of my life, and spiritual foundations will be one of the things that I will be developing for the rest of my life. And I think that one day, in like 10 years, I will look into this video and I will say, okay, where I was in my spiritual foundation, what kind of understanding did they have? And I will say, okay, that's where I was 10 years ago. I have different foundations now, and after that, after even more 10 years, I will be saying where I am now, because that will be every 5 years I need to improve. Every single year I need to improve. Every single month I need to improve, because that is my priority. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.